Ooh, what's up, everybody? My name is OMG, WTF, LOL, FTW, BRB. Welcome back to more WWE versus TEW, the series where we take the events that the WWE runs, book them in the game to see just how well WWE does against TEW, or if Total Extreme Wrestling will be the company that brings the WWE down to its knees. Today, we've got the first almost said SmackDown. First 205 Live of September, main evented by Cedric Alexander taking on TJP. We're still hot in the week of TEW, trying to catch up as quick as we can, so let's just stop wasting time. I know it's your guys' favorite show, and let's get on with this. Christ, I gotta clear my throat. 37 D- rating for our 205 Live cold open as the DM GM himself, Drake Maverick, hypes up Buddy Murphy and Kalisto's match from last week. Again, if you haven't seen it, check it out. And then, of course, how Tony Nese, Buddy Murphy's training partner, will be taking on the other member, or one-third, I guess I should say, of Lucha House Party, Grand Metalik. And then Cedric Alexander has words for Drew Gulak tonight. Hiccups came out of nowhere. Great. What a way to start a video. 42 solid D. This is kind of between entrances. Grand Metalik is already in the ring. Kayla Braxton is backstage and she tries to get a quick interview with Tony Nese. Nese is not having any of it though. He has a match in like 30 seconds. He's too busy warming up. He don't have time for Kayla Braxton. So Buddy Murphy steps in for the interview. They talk a little bit about his Cruiserweight Championship match in Melbourne, Australia. Buddy Murphy will challenge Cedric Alexander for the Cruiserweight Championship at the Super Showdown. It makes sense. It's in Australia. It's Buddy Murphy's hometown. Come on. It writes itself. Why would you not? I don't think he'll win the thing, but it also wouldn't surprise me. Murphy has been on quite a roll lately, and it would be one hell of a way to really kickstart his career and have him win the title in his own, his home country. So that would be cool. But again, I don't think that they're going to have Buddy Murphy beat Alexander. With that being said, though, like I said, he talks a little about Cedric Alexander and how he's going to be the new Cruiserweight champion because last time they fought in Cedric Alexander's hometown, but this time it's going to be his hometown where everybody's cheering for him. And then he ends it by saying Tony Nese is about to go do some work. So we have our opening match of the night, Tony Nese versus Grand Metalik. 42 solid D rating here, and a terrible match. Grand Metalik goes over Tony Nese in 13 minutes, 16 seconds with the Dorada screwdriver. I'll be honest with you guys about this episode of 205 Live. Even though I literally just watched it, I really wasn't paying attention, if I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I was just kind of timing it because I just kind of want to catch up as quick as I can. And I was messaging people on my phone, looking at Facebook. I really wasn't paying attention to the matches to tell you if it was a great match or whatnot. But the little bit I did see from this matchup, they were going all at it. Grand Metalik was showing off why, in my opinion, he should have been the guy that should have won the Cruiserweight Classic over TJP. The guy is a great, I guess, acrobat. I don't know what you should call it. Like, he has the Cruiserweight skill. He's good at high flying. He can balance on the ropes. He does a bunch of springboard kinds of moves. Grand Metalik is a joy to watch. And it's interesting that, these two are fighting each other because when I went to Monday Night Raw a little while back, these two had a match against each other on, like, main event, I believe it was. So here they are fighting again, and I've seen it live. It did cool the crowd, though, unfortunately. I'm not sure how, since none of the angles have really started them up, but whatever. 42 for Grand Metalik, 38 for Tony Nese, and it gained some heat for the Lucha House Party Murphy and Nese feud here. 42, solid D. God, it's like 3 42s in a row as we get a recap of Hideo Itami's attack, or I guess match, last week against, I think it was a guy named Matthew Blaze or something Blaze, where he was just kind of ferocious, and until, of course, Mustafa Ali came out to the ring and kind of chased him out. 40 D- rating here as Drake Maverick has a quick talk to the referee backstage, Danielo, and someone told me how to pronounce his name. I don't remember. I don't care. He pretty much is expressing how he wants to know everything that Cedric Alexander is going to be doing tonight before Mustafa Ali walks in. Ali kind of jokes around with Maverick saying, I was kind of wishing you would have worn your AOP gear here tonight, referencing him now managing the Authors of Pain. Maverick makes it known that what he does on Raw and what he does on 205 Live are two different things. And pretty much expresses that no matter what, Mustafa Ali, if he feels he's ready or not, it doesn't matter to Drake Maverick. Mustafa Ali will not be competing in the Cruiserweight or in 205 Live ring until Drake Maverick feels he is ready. 38 D- rating here as Noam? Who the hell is that? Noam Dar is about to compete against local talent Brian Kelly. Oh, man, I forgot to do it again. Forgot to write down this dude's name. It was Trip something. I don't remember it exactly, but it was Trip something. Yeah. But Brian Kelly with 3 L's because apparently there's already somebody named Brian Kelly. I think that's Byron Saxton's real name, but... So that was our way around that. But before the match begins, the 23-year-old piece of gold, Lio Rush's music hits, and he joins commentary for this match because apparently he's a little upset that, you know, they had recording artist Wale at down ringside, and here he is watching Noam Dar, of all people, compete. So Lio Rush a little offended by that, and he wants to see what's the hype about Noam Dar. But before we can get to Noam Dar's matchup, we have a little bit quick preview of our next episode of John Cena and Friends, which will, of course, feature Shawn Michaels and some hunting in the woods. Good lord, this match did bad. 34 E+ rating here. Noam Dar goes over Brian Kelly in an abysmal match after 4 minutes 26 seconds. I don't know why I added a second onto that. With the Champagne Super Knee Bar. I believe it was pinfall. I thought I made it pinfall. Maybe I didn't. Doesn't matter. But it definitely was pinfall. Brian Kelly apparently really off his game here tonight. Wow, he had an in-ring performance of a 20. It's not too bad when you think about it. Noam Dar with a 41, especially with him being off his game. That means he could have done better. And it goes ahead and starts the segment, or I guess advances. I assume it started in the last segment. It looks like they're starting a storyline between Lio Rush and Noam Dar. And Rush was on commentary for this match. Interesting that we didn't get a note of him being bad at commentary. But Noam Dar picks up the easy victory here. Brian Kelly, making the most of his appearance despite being off his game, is improving in his Rumble technical and performance skills. And then a 43 solid D rating afterwards. Before I get to that, though, there was kind of a little bit of a brief altercation between Lio Rush and Noam Dar. I didn't include it here because it was nothing too special. But they were kind of just, you know, out-taunting each other, I guess would be the word. They're, you know, Rush was standing on the table and doing a bunch of his little taunts. Noam Dar is doing some of his cringy things. I never understood this when he was in What Culture Pro Wrestling or whatever the hell, Defiant Pro Wrestling now. The little bit of time I did watch it. It was always cringing to me then, that stupid cat thing he does with his hands, and I don't know. Noam Dar has always kind of been a weird one to me. It's like, what is your gimmick, dude? You're just kind of a weirdo, in my opinion. That's his gimmick. Like, he comes out and does like little cat things with his hands, and he's like, oh, calm down there, buddy. Like, oh, you poor baby. And he does like things with his pinkies. It's just, what are these random... It reminds me of like when... You know how, like, people, like, they have, like, their little taunts. Like, people will throw their arms up or they have something. And sometimes they're really cool. But then they come when you have some random, like, ones that people just did because they're like, oh, I gotta have my own little taunt. Like, a symbol. Like, it reminds me of, like, when Mike Knox first debuted and his, like, taunt was, like, sticking his one arm out horizontally while the other one vertically. And it's just like, what does that mean? What does that stand for? What are you doing? It's just... Whenever I see Noam Dar doing that stuff, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I just don't get it. It's just weird. It's weird. Anyway, backstage, 43 solid D rating. We see Cedric Alexander making his way towards the ringside before Drake Maverick kind of talks to him and says, you know, I usually don't do this, but I'm doing it out of respect for you, so just keep it professional. And Alexander just says, all right, boss. And there we have that. 39 D- as we hype up the fact that next week on 205 Live, Grand Metalik will take on Buddy Murphy. So the one who beat Kalisto and the one who beat Tony Nese meet each other in action. 33 E+ rating. I wonder why this did worse. Interesting. 33 E+ rating as we hype up the fact that Cedric Alexander will face Buddy Murphy at the Super Showdown. I don't know why this one did worse than the last one. 49 D+ rating here as Cedric Alexander comes out to call out Gulak. He doesn't like to talk, so he just says, let's get on with it. He calls out Drew Gulak, but instead of Drew Gulak, out comes TJP, who, you know, looks at Gulak more as an opportunist, but thinks of himself, you know, he's impatient. He doesn't want to wait in line. He wants his Cruiserweight Championship match, and he wants a match against Cedric Alexander tonight. because if he can beat Cedric Alexander, that'll put him next in line for the title. Alexander's down for it. Drake Maverick makes the match official, and we have our marquee match of the night, TJP taking on Cedric Alexander. TJP getting better at his gimmick, gained some heat for the Alexander-Gulak feud, and we go to our main event of the night with a solid 43 D rating here in a terrible matchup. Cedric Alexander goes over TJP in 11 minutes, 13 seconds with the kick to kill. Never heard of that. He hit him with the lumbar check, but I have no idea what the kick to kill is. Alexander with an in-ring performance of a 43. TJP with a 41. No worker improvements, though. And then afterwards, Drew Gulak, being the opportunist that he is, with a 44 solid D, his music hits. He comes out to the ring, and he's like, you know, Alexander, you said you wanted to finish this, and, well, you know what, I'm here, and I'm ready to finish it. Alexander's down for it. He says, all right, let's do this, and he's begging Gulak to get in the ring. Gulak, of course, distracting Alexander long enough for the gentleman, Jack Gallagher, to come out and attack Cedric Alexander from behind. Of course, that doesn't help out Gallagher for too long, because Alexander fights back and takes him out pretty quickly. Gulak using this to his advantage, though, takes the distraction and goes after Cedric Alexander, locking him in the Gulak before referees and Drake Maverick make their way out to the ring to pretty much get him out of there. Gulak getting better at his gimmick, it advanced the storyline, and this just makes me... I mean, I mentioned how I don't think Buddy Murphy would beat Cedric Alexander, and this is why, because you got these two in a feud right now over the championship, and it doesn't look like it's ending, so why would you have... It just doesn't make sense. It's kind of like, I already know the ending to this match. Nonetheless, though, 205 Live gets a 52 D+ rating here. Not too bad of a show. And that is going to do it for this episode. So, before I do end this off, though, we do have one more episode for this week of TEW, or week of WWE versus TEW, I should say. Where we got the Mae Young Classic, the first episode of the Mae Young Classic. And this one's kind of interesting because it's our first take on tournament, and TEW really doesn't do well with these kind of tournament matches when you take a bunch of unknown competitors and put them in here, especially with the popularity-based company that WWE is. They're pretty much doomed to fail, and the first episode of the Mae Young Classic may be the worst episode of the Mae Young Classic, because the way I think I'm going to do it is I want to make all the women equal, give them equal popularity in the Southeast region where they're going to be competing, of course, in Full Sail University. And, you know, pretty much have them all be on equal footing, like have them have equal popularity. I'm just not sure where I want to set the popularity at. A part of me thinks a solid 50 for everybody, give them a half, you know, of 100. But really, 50 doesn't really give you such a great match either, and a part of me is thinking, you know, maybe I should do like a 70. I thought about even giving everybody 100, but that just pretty much guarantees the match is going to be good anyway. So maybe a 70's good, but again, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. Maybe a 60. Maybe that'll be good. I'm not sure where I'm going to set everybody's popularity at. That's going to be a little bit of a challenge. But if you guys have any ideas, go ahead and comment below either now or on the Mae Young Classic episode what you think the popularities probably should be set as, to kind of give the women equal footing. That way we don't have someone who is pretty popular already, like maybe, you know, Madison/Ashley Rain, taking on someone who's like an unknown, you know? That way everyone's kind of on an equal footing, and it's really just mostly based on their performance. Even though I can't make it that way, I can try my best. So that's all I wanted to say about the Mae Young Classic. We'll see what I end up doing. But until then, I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, do me a favor, comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you guys for the Mae Young Classic. No NXT. We still got to wait for Pete Dunne's contract to begin, so unfortunately we got to wait for that. But I guess we can look at these emails, see if there's any... No. Rey Mysterio's joined us now, because I believe I heard that they hired him, but nothing, no opinions on anything, so... I think Roman Reigns said, like, Akam's a horrible seller and he needs to learn to work, but I don't really remember, so I'll see you guys in the next episode. Have a good one.